Alrighty, welcome to this ad hoc Sunday night stream. My name is Varma Henry. I am the founder of Do Better UX. If you're just meeting, it's a place where we're really trying to create. Let me put this music down a tad bit because I can hardly hear myself, and do a little bit of that. I'm sure that's much better. That should be much better. I hope you're doing well wherever you're joining us in the world, whatever time it is, where you are. Good morning, good evening. I hope it's still a Sunday wherever you are. It's a beautiful Sunday evening for me, and I decided to do this live streaming today because there's been so much exciting stuff that came out of the previous week that we've been in, with the Apple event coming out, with a couple of products and things that came into the industry from a technology side, and things that can potentially impact the way that we design products in the future. But in today's stream, I wanted to cover one main event that really happened that impacts the way that we design everyday products as UX UI designers, and that is the Config conference by Figma. If you don't know what Figma is a tool that we use. It's basically the industry leading tool at the current moment that we use for UX UI design. It's a very cool collaborative tool. Some people might use Sketch. You might know of Sketch. It's really like Sketch but on steroids, super collaborative, fully online, so you can run it from anywhere in the world on any computer that has got a browser. With some limitations, I think, if you're running it on things like iPads and other machines like that. Anywho, thank you so much for joining us. If you are joining us for the first time, these live design streaming sessions, we do these sessions where we talk about UX design, mainly around UX design and UX design career, how to navigate your UX design career path, as well as other things like, latest tools, latest design trends. We cover like portfolio reviews. We try and do streaming session every week on this YouTube channel. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please do consider subscribing to the channel, as well as putting on the notification by hitting the notification icon, so that you can get reminded every time that we set an event out, that we're gonna do. Sometimes it's just not, the typical, Thursday ones that we usually do on a Thursday, but we usually, have other things as well that we do, like this one on a Sunday. We intended today, but other things came in. I had other family commitments that I had to look after. I'm a full-time dad. I have 4 daughters, and sometimes that job comes in the way of this. So let's jump into today's session. But before we get into Figma, I just wanted to announce something that we're super excited about here over at Do Better UX, and this is our latest website that we've been working on and teasing on social media that we'll be bringing out. There is still a lot of work that is coming in here, and there are iteration stages that we'll be phasing out, that will be releasing over the next 2 weeks. The website will be live from tomorrow. This is just a preview that I'm doing now. I'm gonna lock it up once the live streaming is done. So if you want to check it out, you can check it out now. But if you don't check it out now, you can always check it out at a later stage. So of course, we are letting the cat out of the bag. We are releasing a Kickstart Your UX Design Career course and giving people free early access. So if you're interested in that, check out the website within the next coming week and find out more what that is about. On this website, you'll be able to find out about latest career insights, in the form of blog posts, as well as our latest events and other things that we are doing. So you will find our latest talks and events, a lineup of other things that we might not necessarily be doing live streaming sessions. So as you can see here, the red ones are live streaming sessions, the green ones are more of working demos where we really go through certain things and show you how things work. So how to do a heuristics evaluation, how to set up a design system in Figma and really understanding the mechanics of it. And we are also launching our meetup at the end of next month, which will be running at the last Thursday of every month, starting from next month. So we're super excited about that, and we're looking forward to hearing what some of our contributors have to share with the community at large that we are building here. You'll also be able to find our latest podcast, Not a UX Designer is the name of the podcast. You'll be able to find the latest episodes here as you go through the website. So the landing page is really designed for you to be able to get the latest insights, the latest events that we have, and the latest listening experience that we are bringing to you. So if you go into community and events, it's a similar thing where you will find out more about the events that we are looking forward to be doing. You will find out more about some of the things like our LinkedIn links to our other communities that we have, as well as you can jump in and become a contributor, whether you want to speak at our upcoming meetups, whether you want to contribute to the community in one way or the other. So that is through speaking at the meetups, whether you want to be part of the podcast, whether you want to be featured on a live streaming webcast like this one. If you want to talk about something, collaborate on something, hit us up, let us know what you want to talk about. And we are always open to bring new stuff to our content. The purpose of Do Better UX, our mission is to really try and share real life experiences of UX designers, share the things that are working in the real world in different environments, in different countries as well. So we're trying to look for a global, diverse group of people where we can really share what is working in different areas that we work in. What is the thing that really makes people shine in a specific environment? I understand that it's not the same throughout the whole world. As much as we are living in the same career, it's not the same thing. So another thing, our Design Career Insights, that's basically our blog. And then I will not get into the course page. That's a teaser. If you want to check that out in the next coming week. That's the next coming week that's to come. So that's the latest thing that we wanted to reveal to you in our website. We've been working on it. There's a lot of iterations that we have in the pipeline over the next 2 coming weeks, but we're super excited to see you join the early access to our course. It'll be totally free. You will get free access to the course for a certain period of time, and check that out in the next coming week. So let's jump into Figma talk now. So config was running from the 21st to the 22nd, I think, on Wednesday and Thursday of the previous week that we're coming from, April, and it was a really cool, interesting thing, because I think Figma has really become the industry standard of UX UI design. If there's any product design teams that you're working with, you're probably doing that stuff in Figma at one given point or another. Just to caveat a little bit, you will see me looking down here. I'm just monitoring the chat, so if you have any questions, if you want to jump in and comment on something, ask anything, feel free to jump in. If you want to say hello, tell us where you're watching from, where you're joining from, more than happy again to see you coming through there. So going back to config, so what we saw coming out of the conference was really latest updates to Figma and some of the really exciting things that they explained. I think the biggest one that you are really here for is FigJam, which is what we're gonna look at, right at the end. Well, not right at the end, like in the main section, the body of the session today. We're going to look at FigJam, but I just wanted to talk about some of the other things that they mentioned as well. I wanted to go into the talks, but I realized that the talks were actually not, I don't know if they're going to be uploaded on YouTube. I think it will be helpful for me to talk about them if you can still go and watch them. But if you haven't experienced them, like you can watch the day one keynote to see Dylan Field, the CEO and co-founder of Figma, talk about the new features and things like that, but you can't really watch the other talks that happened. I wanted to talk about some of the highlights that I really enjoyed, like Pablo Stanley talking about design culture and things like that, and other ones as well that I wanted to highlight, but I don't think that will be very useful right now if you can't really go and watch those things. Maybe I would do a part 2 of this recap once they decide to upload some of those things. Usually they do this like after a week or 2 or something like that, or never. We'll see. Anywho, so there are a couple of things that were announced in the first day and on the second day of Figma, and the biggest one, which is FigJam, which is basically a collaboration tool, like an online whiteboard collaboration tool such as Mural or Miro, one of the two. There's other ones as well. I think InVision has one. I forgot what the InVision one is called. I never used it. I think it's called Freehand or something like that. But the main ones are Miro and Mural, and they've been Miro and Mural. They've been really the industry standard of whiteboard sessions. So if you are somebody who is teaching people running online workshops and you want to collaborate on ideas and things like that, you will be able to do that within Figma environment, and you'll be able to share the concepts between FigJam and your main Figma files interchangeably. So you can copy some screens that you did in Figma over to FigJam and conceptualize a couple of things and pull them back, etc., etc. So it's a very exciting tool, and it's really exciting to have everything in one place where you can, do all of the collaboration from the thinking to the visual design. Hopefully in the future we see some code of some aspect of the code really expanding and not really just spilling out the CSS, maybe generating certain basic HTML and front ends that you can then hook up some JavaScript in the back end. So that will be really exciting to see coming from Figma in the near future if they decide to do that. FigJam, they have multiplayer limits now available, so that really speaks to the collaboration that you can do. I think currently they say that you could have about 50 to you can now have about 50 to 400 people or so on one file, and they have a port up to 500 active participants. So out of the 500, 100 can be editors and the other ones can be viewers. So it's super exciting to see that in corporate places like education environments, which is something that I want to talk about as well. Educational environments that didn't really come out of this conference, but maybe about 2 weeks ago, I think that's when the video was out that I saw on YouTube. Multiplayer limits have increased, and we are starting to see support to a lot more people than just the typical 50. I don't even know what the original was, but now you can have up to 500 people, right? So that's cool and donkey and sweet. There's now a new starter plan, I think, or they did some updates to the starter plan. The Figma starter plan allows you to invite unlimited editors to your team for free and take advantage of limits. So you can now, in the starter plan, you can invite unlimited editors. You can have one project. You can have a starter team can have 3 files, which can have each 3 pages, etc., etc. So there's some stuff with a new starter plan. I'm not going to get into the details of some of the stuff that is really not so big. I really want to get into the details of the juicy stuff that you are here for. The next thing is branches. I think branches is a very interesting concept, but with the maturity of how teams are using design systems, I think branches that just bring a complexity level that a lot of teams won't be able to use at this current moment. I think it's a very good feature, but I think a lot of teams are not as mature yet to be at the level of using tools like branching and things like that. That's just from my perspective. I might be just living in a bad environment with very bad design systems. I haven't seen one design system that has been implemented well as people actually using it well, right? So I see really good implementations of design system. Of them is really less. People just pull in components, unlink them, play around with concepts and things like that, and those you end up having all these different designs again, which defeats the purpose of having a design system. So I think a concept like branches is brilliant, but I also think that it comes with a lot of complexity. So I'm just gonna put the load down here on my computer so that maybe it'll so much frames. Anyway, so branches is basically allows designers to work and conceptualize smaller bits of their design, and then be able to merge them into the main components. But so it's basically like building child themes if you ever built websites in WordPress. So those things are available now. FigJam is available now. The multiplayer limits available now. The starter plan is available now. The branches is in beta and available now, I think, as well as FigJam. They also spoke about the Figma mobile app. And this is basically a new mobile app for iOS. I think they're really trying to make new improved mirror app. They demoed some cool stuff, on how you can see files, explore the actual file from anywhere in the world on your mobile device, and not just, go through the prototype. You can as well do all the prototypey type of things, but it's a little bit more open-minded, and now you can also see things like FigJam design files and things like that. So it's a new polished product. It's a new polished thing. Most exciting for me, I think, audio, which is coming in soon. This was something that I was really excited about, seeing it coming through. If you were following the time that they were announcing these things on live at the conference, I was covering most of the stuff that I was excited about on Twitter, and I actually had audio for quite some time. I think audio is a super cool thing, just bringing in again everything, whiteboards, bringing the conversation in there. I think the audio is really going to be amazing for those whiteboarding sessions, and you don't need an extra software like Zoom or whatever you use for your video calls. and you just have everything in one place, which is a really cool idea and it's brilliant. So those are the things that were covered mainly within the the conference. So before we jump into FigJam, I wanted to talk about something that I found really interesting and exciting as well. I think this was released um, about 2 weeks ago, right, on the 6th of April. This is Figma for Education, right? This is a free version that you can have for educational programs. So I think this is a fantastic way of bringing people into the design world and offering a tool, the industry leading tool for free to people, and being able to really provide people with this tool with all the bigger features for free for 2 free years, right? So that's 2 free years, which I think that's super awesome. That's super fantastic. I don't think you can get any other tool that has done this. I think this will help a lot of people that are trying to get into UX design. These days we are not only learning from sort of like institutions and things like that, but I think this will also, help private institutions like DoBetterUX.com, hands-on workshops and lessons that people will be able to download the software and be able to collaborate and actually learn hands-on using the software without any limitations and things like that. So I think this is something that had been overlooked for, quite some time within, just the industry as a whole. I think it's something that is super exciting for me, for Do Better UX, to be able to have a tool that we can use to facilitate different concepts and things like that. So let's jump in to the introduction video of FigJam. So I'm just gonna go back here. Whoa. I'm not sure what workshop that would be, but it's a masterpiece. So you probably had a sneak peek of some of these things that I might be showing you here. And here right at the end, they just, show off with audio coming soon. So they covered a couple of things in there, some interesting stuff, so the collaboration, and how everything works. There's one more thing that I think I missed out on the thing they showed there, which is like community sharing. So they did a really good example and presentation of this through their Figma name card that you could change and upgrade and share on social media, as well as do a community share. So there is mine there that I did. But yeah, it was a cool, super exciting conference, and I think that a lot of people in the world are super excited about what came out of it, and the possibilities of what we can do as UX designers going forth. So I'm going to jump into FigJam now. I'm just going to present again my screen, and So here we are in FigJam. I'm going to, whoa, what did I do? Okay. Here we are in FigJam. Like we said, it's an on board. I thought the pen tool thing was super cool and wicked. So this is the video. Welcome to FigJam. They've got a very iPad-esque toolbar here at the bottom. And yeah, I wonder if this will work very well and if it's optimized for iPad. We'll have to see how that looks like and if they actually release an iPad app or something like that, right? That would be super to see that happening if they ever do. Um, so this is, for brainstorming, ideate, share, discover, build ideas. They have, some diagram capability with annotations, and things like that. They've got some cool, cute stuff going on. Connect your designs. This is what I was talking about. Working between Figma and FigJam side by side. You can sort of between work and play. Of course, we're gonna work and play. Yeah, so it's super cool how they've put together this tool, and this is, to me, this. I mean, Figma went for that market segment where Sketch was, and they totally crushed it. Now they're going for this whiteboard space, and this is a killer, if you were to ask me. They're definitely going to crush it. They're definitely going to um, bring this to a point where they're really going to integrate the whole design process and tools that are out there, like calling, like whiteboards, like the actual design thing, and eventually the code aspect of some of those things. So see what we can do with FigJam. Um, my internet seems to be super slow all of a sudden. I hope that I'm not losing frames like crazy. I hope this is still consumable wherever you are in the world. Please let me know in the chat if you can still see what is happening here. So if you go into your Figma now, you are able to create two different files. You see that there's these new icons in there. You can create a FigJam file or a design file. I wonder why didn't they call it like a Figma file and a FigJam file, and instead of calling it design file and FigJam file. So now we're in FigJam. Finally, we've opened it. We managed to connect to it. So here we've got a pen. I wonder how you change the pen. I've seen. Oh, there we go. So you've got a marking type of thing. That's a bit thicker, and I like how they smooth out your lines. So if I were to draw a circle, it's a little bit more smoothed out. Let's use the smaller pen. Okay, so that is much smaller. I like still how they smooth out things. That's a ugly cow or pig. So that's a pen. You've got a hand moving tool. Again, I'd love to see how this works, if there will ever be an iPad version of this. It'll be super cool to do this on an iPad. So we've got some circle stickies, I guess. We've got normal stickies, that name there on them. That's super cool. We've got your typical text. We've got the lines. I think this is going to make sort of doing user journeys much simpler, or just connecting screens that you would pull from your Figma file and bring it in here and connect the screens together and play around with things like that. We've got here components. I wonder if it actually picks. I think these are just community built. I wonder if you can actually change the components themselves. Bring forward. So there isn't really like a components concept or a sidebar for you to manipulate these things. It would be cool if you can like change the colors and things like that, right? But yeah, they've got some cool things to make your workshop more interesting, I guess. Or maybe if you've got a sticky note there and somebody wants to say, oh, this is super cool, bring to forward, this is super cool, you know, and we know that that is our winning solution, right? Or whatever it is. There's the concept of stamps, if my computer actually works. And stamps have got this thing of sort of growing in size to show how much you like a specific thing. But I'm not really sure if you can tell. So is that a small, big? Oh, I put so many in there. Okay, cool. So let's see. So we've got a small one. We want to try out. Okay. Okay, so it doesn't get bigger than that. So it's basically 3 layers of like, oh, I like this a little bit, moderate is. There's questions and hearts. There's plus one, voting for certain things, etc., etc. So super cool tool to use. So let's see if I were to pull components from a Figma file, how would that look like, right? So this is so cool. I wish I could. Okay, so since they're in beta, you can do some bug reporting, comments. I think this is the typical comments that are always there. There's emotes. Ooh. Oh, so yeah, emotes are, sort of like if you're in a session, you can grab some attention that way, I guess. Tell people that you like a certain thing aggressively. um, it's a cool little nifty tool if you ask me. Let's see what are the other emotes. There's a wave, yeah, like yo, I'm here. Yeah, so I think for me, what I've seen as innovation over this year, with all these online tools and with the conflict that there's been really a trend around create um, trying to create more interactions, right? In the virtual world that we have been forced to live in for more than a year now, and I've seen things like there's a website conferencing tool type of thing called Gather, where you have proximity effects. When you're walking towards people, you can sort of like hear them as in real life. If you're walking towards a room, you can hear the volume coming in louder. As you walk away, it fades away, etc., etc. So there's been a lot of ways of trying to improve the way that we interact online, and we collaborate and things like that. And I can definitely see a lot of that coming in FigJam, with the things like the emotes. And I think out of everything, what I really love about FigJam is the simplicity of how they've brought every really one simple bar. And there isn't all this complex stuff. Like one thing that I've seen Miro and Miro do, I don't know if that sounds even any different, but is that they've started adding a lot more things based on some design thinking practices, like the design sprint, which is one of the biggest things that those tools have been being used for, from a workshop environment, things like sticky note voting and all of those things, which really made, well, rather the way they implemented it, which was really trying to mimic the real life, the real world that we're living in, which really made them clunky and cluttery and things like that. But I really love the concept of just having this bar at the bottom, and really making it simple, very simple to engage, to interact, to like the concept of emotes. It's a live thing that shows you like, hey, I'm here, and demand attention as you go through this thing. So I think they really went into FigJam, and I don't know how the iteration is going to look like, or if people are gonna look for those other features that you might feel like are missing rather in this specific version. Maybe let me know in the comments section if that is something that you would like to see in FigJam. So the other things that that might be missing here from the other whiteboarding tools that are currently out there, so things like dot voting, things like timers, and all of those, then when they started adding those features to those tools. But I think after seeing FigJam, I've sort of like felt the freedom of not having all that clutter, and being able to really just have a whiteboard, have a blank canvas to think on, using basic tools that you would use in real life, like a pen, a couple of sticky notes, and just voting tools, which they did very well with the stamps and the emotes. I think that was implemented super well. So that is my review and my recap on Figma Config 2021. I hope that you found some value in this session, and if you did, please consider subscribing to the channel so that you get notified every time that we have a new show coming up. I hope that you join us on our website over the next coming week as we release it, the public version to the world. That way you can see all the, it might not be hosted here live on YouTube. We've got, a private Discord server that we host some of these things, some of the, conversations and things like that happen on our social media channels. So if you're interested in staying up to date, consider following us on our social media channels. If you're watching this on YouTube, of which you should be, if it's you should be able to find our social media links on our YouTube channel right at the top there. So we are mainly active on LinkedIn. We've got a growing, small, intimate community called Do Better UX. Again, find it in the links on the channel, or in the description. Actually, you can find it in there as well. So join us, have a conversation with us. Let us know what are the things that you think are missing in FigJam. What would you add? What would you remove out? What you think about these latest releases and the tool from Figma and in Config 2021. What were you most excited about? I really hope that they release those videos of some of the speakers, at least some of the highlighted ones that really got a lot of attention. That way I'll be able to talk through some of them and really speak about what are some of the things that I really enjoyed from Config 2021. That's it for me. It was a really good Sunday night session. I'm looking forward to next coming week. So follow us on social media channels to stay updated on those things. Until we meet again, I'm your host, Farima Henry, and I'm out.
dos, tres. ¡Vamos!